Freiburg, 4 games in the Europa Conference this evening with Scottish clubs involved, and I'm just praying that we get 4 positive results from those matches. So if you are a fan of Scottish football, you'll certainly be hoping that we can get a positive result here at Fir Park, although I have my doubts. Over at Tynecastle is equally going to be difficult, and elsewhere Rangers against Jablonec, and in Belgium it's Gent against Hibernian. Well, what do you think of it all? Give us your thoughts on the games tonight. Is it going to be a miserable night for Scottish football, or can one of these clubs replicate what Celtic achieved last night at Celtic Park when they ran out 3-0 winners? It was a fabulous performance against LASK of Austria, and they got a lot of plaudits this morning in the papers, on the radio, and right across all the television and sports channels as well, and rightly so, because Celtic really put on a performance. As far as here tonight's concerned, well, it's a Motherwell side that were absolutely magnificent here last week, and we'll talk about that. You can give us your thoughts on it. Of course, over at Ibrox, Rangers against Jablonec, we are hoping that Rangers can somehow put a performance on that backs up that 5-1 win over St Mirren. That was a much needed boost for Rangers and Derek McInnes in particular, who's still, I think at this moment, tinkering with what he believes is his best side. Sean says might be a bad night, wouldn't be shocked with 4 defeats but possibly 3 draws. Sean, I don't think I can argue with you on that, because I get a feeling that, I don't know, I think we might get 1 positive result. I think Rangers will come up trumps against Jablonec over at Ibrox, but elsewhere I don't hold out much hope for Hearts, because I think in Europe their back line has been poor and they've been making mistakes. I know there was a Jambo absolutely slaughtered me the other day there, thinking I've got it in for Hearts. I haven't really got it in for Hearts. I'm just basically looking at them in the back line, and I don't think they are a settled side yet. Wouter Vranken will undoubtedly try and get it all together for domestic football, but in European football I'm not so sure Hearts are ready yet, even at conference level, which is not great for Scottish football in general if Hearts can't even get into the group stages. I hope I'm proved wrong against Rapid Vienna. I'm doubts about it. They've not been great. I watched them against Sturm Graz. I watched them against Benfica with my hands across my eyes on many occasions, but nevertheless, strange things can happen at Tynecastle with an early goal, who knows. But at Ibrox, Derek McInnes will be looking to his side to try and come up trumps and produce a little bit of magic on the night. Might be able to dig in and pull out a draw. We'd love to see Motherwell get something, but I doubt it. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that. I was talking to one of my friends who's a Motherwell fan, and he's brought his girlfriend to the game for the first time, and they were holding hands coming into Fir Park, really. But it's her first time coming to see Motherwell, so she's either going to be a jinx and never asks back, or she's going to be brought along to Fir Park regularly. So with regards to Rangers against Jablonec, Rangers against St Mirren last week, I actually looked at what Derek was trying to do. He's still tinkering. Lawrence Shankland clearly is finding it difficult, along with Cammy Devlin, to settle into the pressures of life at Rangers. I think when you play for Rangers, you've got to try and step up to the plate, hit the ground running, get the fans on your side. It helps if you've got a bit of service into the likes of Lawrence Shankland. I don't think he's had too much service, and I feel a bit sorry for him just coming in as captain, which is a pressure, and then having to try and get the goals, albeit he's got a penalty, but that's quite simply not enough. And against Jablonec, I think Rangers really are going to have to step up to the plate. Not ideally where they would like to be, I have to be honest with you, in the Europa Conference. Elsewhere, Hearts at Rapid Vienna, tough night for them. I think the Jambos, I think they might end up narrowly winning that, or possibly a draw, but I don't hold out much hope over the 2 legs. I hope I'm wrong. I'm there to be absolutely battered for it. As far as Hibs over there against Gent, well, I was at Easter Roads at the weekend, and it was an early goal from Owen Elding, who just continues to impress, and they got that narrow 1-0 win. But nevertheless, David Gray will be hoping they can get something positive against Gent. What do you make of the Hibs? Are they the real deal this season? Have they got players that you think can propel them to the European spots once again, top 6? I think so, but still I think all the clubs need about maybe another couple of weeks of signings, 1 or 2 players, new faces in there to try and supplement what they have already, and Hibs come into that category. So quite simply, Hibs over against Gent. I think they're not going to win that one. Hearts against Rapid Vienna, I'm going to go a draw. Rangers, I'm going to pick Rangers to win. Thank you, Andrew. I'm going to pick Rangers to win against Jablonec tonight by the odd goal in 3. Paul says, what's with the doom and gloom? Come on, look for 4 wins. Paul, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I desperately hope at the end of tonight, when I'm broadcasting live, I'm giving it 4 big wins. I'm giving it Rangers winning against Jablonec. I'm giving it Hibs with a great away win against Gent. Hearts with a win against Rapid Vienna. And here at Fir Park, Motherwell with a win against Freiburg. But listen, we build PLZ soccer on a daily basis, trying to be balanced and honest of our assessment, because I make a point of going right across the country regularly to see games. And Brian has come on right on cue. Brian says, Paul is stealing my phrase. Paul is possibly stealing your phrase, Brian, but nevertheless, we're about to find out if I am bang out of order or right on the money. Certainly last night, I thought it was going to be tough for Celtic, but in the end, Celtic were magnificent last night. I thought they were still dodgy at the back. I don't know about you. Thank you to Enrico Patucci, who says, sounding very reasonable tonight, Peter. Keep up the good work. Mark Simpson says, come on, Peter, what about last night? Fantastic. I mean, I don't know about you, but there is a strange fixation with Cameron Carter-Vickers at the back. He's a calming influence, but there was one moment when I thought he was towing a caravan trying to catch the last centre forward. They had 2 big chances, one of them offside, then another one. They had some early scares for Celtic. I think Celtic are still struggling at the back, and over and above that, if I'm honest with you, I think 3-0 was just well beyond what I expected. The first goal from Nygren was magnificent. The 2 from Duran, superb. Technically, the skill in finishing those 3 goals was absolutely magnificent, and I'm delighted for Martin O'Neill. Celtic game could have been 10-10, says Brian. Brian, you're not wrong. I think LASK had 20 shots and something like 8 or 10 on target. They were firing it from 25 yards, testing the goalkeeper non-stop. So, you know, I think LASK will be dangerous over there. But to the positives, Colby Donovan, for that young man who's taken a bit of criticism, he's under pressure coming in at right back. He's not going to be the preferred right back if Alistair Johnson stays. But Colby Donovan, I thought, was magnificent. And eventually, when you look at the midfield without Aaron Engels, Mika Bauer, I think he's a player. And of course, I think once he gets his fitness up, Hassan Hassan will be brilliant. Kasper, who for me is just, he's a menace. I thought he was sensational last night, really putting himself about, linking up the play. Duran, 2 goals. What more can you ask for? Mark Simpson says CCV awareness gets him out of most issues because of his pace. Yeah, well, listen, I think Celtic's back line has got a bit of work to do, and I also think if it goes pear-shaped, which I don't think it will now, 3-0 should be a defendable lead. I think Martin will be looking for 3 or 4 more players before they get into the Champions League group stages. But what a brilliant result for Celtic, and I think a huge shot in the arm, and I think they deserve great credit. Martin O'Neill, well, I think we're running out of superlatives for the Celtic manager. But here tonight at Fir Park, I can see quite a few of the Freiburg fans in there, and this is going to be a tough one, because if I was unbelievably positive about Motherwell last week against HJK Helsinki, I have my doubts here tonight, I have to be honest with you, because I think Freiburg are a step up again. Now, this is a side that reached the Europa League final last year, lost it to Aston Villa. they haven't actually played a competitive match. They played a couple of friendlies, and Julian Schuster will be happy that his side have recorded a couple of wins. So this is their first real competitive game, but nevertheless, the Bundesliga in relation to Scottish football is a totally different prospect, and I think Freiburg will cause a lot of problems for Motherwell tonight. Technically they'll be good, and I think they'll be a greater threat to Motherwell's back line. I got my fingers crossed here. I think if Motherwell could score first, you never know, something special could happen. It's been brilliant here at Motherwell. They're great to watch. The atmosphere is fantastic. The ultras are over there on the right hand side, and you just get your fingers crossed and say to yourself, you know, come on Motherwell, produce something special tonight. I'm not so sure they've got that ability. I think this could be a hard-fought draw or a narrow defeat for Motherwell. I hope I'm wrong. Brian says the Rangers win, a Hearts win, Hibs will lose, and Motherwell will lose. That's, I mean, listen, Brian, well done to you for giving us the opinion on it. I think Rangers will win narrowly. I think Hearts, listen, if Hearts get a win, brilliant, great for Wouter Rankin. But the other two, I think the good thing about next week, I'll be at Easter Road for Hibs' home tie against Gent, and I hope they're still alive in this tie to make it to Easter Road, and then you just never know what could happen. But tonight, it's going to be a long night. I'll bring you the interviews from the managers, from the players after this game. I'll give you my full-time report, and all I need from you is basically to give us your support. If you can like, share and follow on our Facebook, right across our social media. If you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, it gives us the chance to give you more and more content as we go through the entire season. That's really appreciated on YouTube and over in TikTok as well, where I'll be doing a live as well to keep you up to date with what's happening here. So that's the prospect. Thank you to so many of you for joining us, not only for the journals. If you get a chance, watch the journals. Great insight from Graham McGarry, who'll be here tonight, hoping Motherwell will do the business. And also Hugh McDonald. We were talking about Scotland, the talent coming through, the talent that Sebastian Pocagnoli, I beg your pardon, the talent that he will have at his disposal coming through. There are some really good Scottish players, so it's well worth watching the journals if you get a chance. And of course, tomorrow on our show we'll be analysing all the 5 games in Europe for Scottish clubs. Brian Curtis says a few goal head start would be lovely. The team that's starting to click also would be a nice touch. A lot of football still to be played this season. Yeah. Listen, Brian, I'm with you. For every Scottish club, I want them to do really well, but I have my doubts. I'm not so sure we're going to get positive results today. I think it's going to be painful, but I'm there to be proved wrong, and I hope I am wrong. Celtic was the highlight last night. I hope Rangers can get a win against Jablonec. I hope Hearts can do something at home against Rapid Vienna, and equally so here, where the fans are slow in coming in at the moment, but outside I spotted a hell of a lot of them making their way from the pubs, and still some standing outside waiting to come in. So it's going to be a brilliant atmosphere. Slightly damp conditions. There's been a light smear of rain. There's a great Scottish word. A light smear of rain here in Motherwell. And ahead of this match, the temperature's dropped, but let's hope it increases when Motherwell kick off and maybe get a goal to lift the entire crowd. I certainly hope so. Don't forget, we're on 4 o'clock tomorrow, and if you follow us on TikTok as well, I'll be on there replying to some of your answers as well. But subscribe to PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. The Predictor is back for the Saturday game at Dens Tannadice between Dundee United and Dundee. And then, of course, the other games in the Scottish Premiership have been postponed because, and Brian says, fair enough, it's all about opinions. A little bit of Ibrox magic wouldn't go amiss. Brian, I agree with you. I hope Rangers can win tonight, really lift everybody. I think Rangers and Celtic will get through, and I think the other 3 might toil. So that's what it's all about, opinions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on our YouTube Live. I'm going to go now and get ready for to do is hit the subscribe button and join us later on our social media channels when I'll be bringing you the reaction to this match here at Fir Park between Motherwell and Freiburg, and also I'll be giving you my assessment of Rangers and Hearts and Hibs in European competition. So hit the subscribe button and I'll speak to you later on. Thank you very much for watching.